Hola guys, and que paso? What's going on? This is Hala Pablo. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to look at Algorand today. Algorand, real quick. Look, Algorand is a coin that I am very excited about. I have a lot of faith in. I believe it's going to be just a major heavy hitter in the years to come if everything stays on course. And I believe that partially because the SEC doesn't like it. And if the SEC doesn't like it, there's a reason why it doesn't like it. It sees it as a threat. A threat to what? A threat to the CBDCs. Da-da-da-da-dum. Yeah, the evil Fed coin. Yeah, this is going to be an adversary. This is going to be competition. So what do they want to do? They want to wreck it. How do they wreck it? They say, this is now, they wave their little fucking magic wand and say this is a security. So it's bad. Securities are bad if it's unregulated. So anyway, look at this. It is actually distributing as we speak. So look, it's a steal right now. Algorand is a steal. But if you wait, it's going to be even more of a steal. And that goes for so many other coins. Filecoin, Avalanche, Solana, XLM, all of these. They're going back down again, guys. We have blood in the forecast for basically all of them. In Algorand's case, especially because check this out. Check out this massive broadening rising wedge. Now, rising wedges in themselves are bearish, correct? Of course, correct. Those who know anything about trading, and broadening. So this is like a reverse symmetrical. This is like a reverse wedge, basically. Usually wedge is narrow, like the one that Bitcoin's in. Bitcoin's also in a rising wedge right now, incidentally. The Bitcoin is going to dump, but probably not before a big bull trap. This major dump that's coming is going to top out the counter trend that we're in right now. Everyone thinks everything's going up. Everything is going up, but it's they're made up of micro rallies within a counter trend. We are still in the accumulation range, and we are probably most likely going back down to retest the prior lows. In Bitcoin's case, that can go back to the 0.5 Fibonacci, which is like 21,000, 22,000, or it can go all the way back down and mitigate the selling climax from last year. So what was that, $16,000? It could even go lower than that and turn into a terminal shakeout in the Wyckoff sense. So, that said, be on guard, be on the lookout, don't be a sucker, don't be a noob, don't buy the tops of these counter trends, okay? In this case, I mean, the writing is on the wall. We are in a massive rising, expanding wedge for Algorand. Let's go back to Algorand right now. And so what we're seeing, we have confirmation in the supply volume, just like we had here. See, like what it likes to do is bounce off the this would be the macro trend support line. So we're hitting the macro trend support line, and as it hits each consecutive hit, the spread within the Japanese candles is expanding. The spread is expanding. Look at it from all the way back here, where it had this wedge had its genesis, and we just see the bottom. See, this is a bottom here, and then we topped out at the macro trend support resistance, came back down. We had another bottom, another kind of bottom here. The bottoms are expanding. We have another expansion here. This one's even bigger, and then this one right here even bigger. So that is indicative of a bearish sentiment. That is distribution. That is basically the market makers buying down here at support and selling at resistance, and each time it sells, the markdown is more and more pronounced. This last one that we had quite a large buy. Basically, this is a demand volume spike. This demand volume spike failed to rally. So we have an FTR up here that all it did was it managed to mitigate this last high. So this high at this last bottom here has been mitigated, and now boom, back down again we go to macro trend support. At some point now, I'm not saying we're going to dump down from here whole scale and retest the lows and mitigate this liquidity void down here. But what I am saying is at some point, this sucker is going to break, and when it breaks, we're going to go back down and retest or re-mitigate this low here of 8 cents. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. But even if it doesn't, even right now at 12 cents, I mean, Algorand is a steal. I know some people bought Algorand up at a buck or whatever, and so they're just horrified at like the price trajectory of how this thing has gone south. But I come to you with good news. With good news, this is not financial advice, but it's good news. This is what I'm doing. You're welcome to do what I'm doing. I've made my fortune doing these things, buying highly distressed tokens and coins. And Algorand is one. This is where you make your money. This is where savvy investors make their money, and they swim with the whales. They swim with the sharks. They see what the sharks are doing. They see the sentiment of the market makers of industrial, not industrial, but institutional buying, and they mimic what they do, or they mirror what they do. Now, we don't have pockets as deep as some of these hedge fund guys, some of these institutional traders and all that, and these endowment funds and all that that invest money in this stuff. But we can do what they do with our meager trades and eat what they eat and dump what they dump. And that's what Wyckoff does and teaches and is all about in a nutshell. So that said, I have this on the Elliott wave, so I'm counting the waves, and man, everything looks bloody. And this is a double top, I believe. So yeah, so even like the double top indicator is saying that we've topped out here. This being the the 2 in the Elliott wave. So the 2 impulse. So that would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're due for an ABC, a massive ABC correction at some point. Now, we may go back up again with another 1 through 5 impulse, but at some point, we're going to get that massive ABC correction. We're going to come back up, retest macro trend support, and then boom, I think we're going to fall back down. How far down is it saying, according to the Fibonacci's? About 9 cents would take it back down to this range here, this being the actual low at this point where this all started. So this would be like the sign of weakness, and this, say if this is the selling climax and this is the automatic rally, here's your secondary test, here's your up thrust. And so here we had this was obviously an accumulation range, and then we had the markup from here. And then usually what happens with these markups is it comes back up and it mitigates these liquidity voids on the macro. And so this one is looking to be already, if it puts up another leg, that would make sense because that would close out this macro liquidity void. And then we would come back down to retest this low here. And that would constitute the gigantic double bottom on the macro. And then usually when it comes back down here, remitigates these prior lows, the macro lows, then anything up from here would be the actual commencement of the bull reversal. And from there we would go back up to these heights that we saw last year, because it's a bull market. So that's where we can go back up into the stratosphere, way up here. So $1, $2 algo. So, but you want to buy down here. You want to buy where it's deep and bloody and traumatized and bashed up and smashed and just everyone's just afraid. And the SEC's coming after it with both guns blazing because they see it as a threat to the CBC. Look, the SEC cannot destroy these cryptos. They do not own crypto. They do not own global crypto. They do not own algo. Algo is decentralized. So it's owned. It's by us. It's proof of stake. That's why they hate it, because you could stake it, you could get passive returns on the yield, and they deem everything that you could do that with as a security. So they don't like it, as opposed to Ethereum, which is proof of work. So this is one of them. All the proof of stake ERC20 tokens, yeah, those are all going to come under the gun, especially the ones that facilitate and necessitate financial transactions, remittance payments. Basically the Cash App, the Venmos of the decentralized security world. So anyway, be on guard for that and watch out for those. And some other coins and tokens you want to look out for: Zcash, XLM, XRP, Solana, Dash. Did I already say Dash? Avalanche, DOT, Filecoin, anything that has to do with finances, or where businesses can build their own decentralized stablecoin. So Yeah, those are the ones that come under the gun, and those are the ones that you, when they get traumatized and they come down, they mark down, they dump. You want to be able to buy those when they're in the blood pools. So that's what I do. That's how you build the wealth, and it takes time and patience and just understanding the signs of the times and geometric patterns. So anyway, I share with my group the coins and tokens that I'm DCAing in at the present time. I've got all my buy points according to the Fibonacci retracements, and I share that with my group. And so they have all the buy points and they can like basically piggyback exactly what I'm doing if they want to. It's not financial advice; it's what I'm doing. But I invite people to, if you're willing to take on the risk yourself, just to simply piggyback what I do. And so, anyway, the people in my group, in my Discord group, have those price points. So I'm just sharing this coin here because I know that Algorand. There's a lot of interest behind Algorand, and this is one of mine. This is the big one. This is one that I have a lot of money in, and I have very, very high hopes in. So, and I want to buy it, and I'm waiting. I'm not buying it now. Don't buy it now. Don't buy it at the top of this counter trend. Let it come back down. Let it remitigate, and then start buying in or start juicing it down once it starts hitting these Fibonacci retracements. In particular, the 1.272, the 1618, and 2. So take it all the way down as far as it can go, and then juice it back up. And you'll have a very lucrative position for the up-and-coming bull market, which should happen around next year, shortly before the election, the new election. What happens is they're going to float up they're going to boost the economy to make it look like the sitting president was responsible for the wonderful, scintillating economy. And never mind the 3 years of crap that everyone had to go through in the depression and recession. And by the way, we're about to hit another recession. It's going to be reflected in crypto, but that's a whole other video. Hey, if you got anything out of this, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Subscription for more updates. I always tell it as it is. I don't shill any crypto, and I put my money where my mouth is. I only talk about trades that I am willing to sink my own money in, and which I do. And so anyway, if you get anything out of that, I appreciate the support. All right, guys, let me let you go before this gets too long. We'll talk to you later. Happy trading, safe trading. None of this is financial advice again. And we'll talk again soon. Adios. Bye-bye.